Have you ever seen sand that eats people? Don't be fooled by how fine and tiny it looks, like strands of hair. It can devour a living person, leaving nothing but bones. A woman stepped onto the beach, unaware that the sand would cling to her tightly, making it impossible to pull her foot free. She tried to use her hands to pull herself out, but her hands were also firmly trapped by the sand. A man rushed to rescue her, but he stumbled and fell onto the sand. As he lay there, he couldn't move at all. The group was still in shock when their screams suddenly filled the air. The woman cried out for the man, who lifted his head with great effort, only to reveal that half his face had already been consumed by the sand. The others were so terrified that they froze, watching helplessly as their two friends were swallowed by the sand. Just last night, this place had been filled with laughter. A group of young people was throwing a party on the beach. Two men somehow found a large meatball and decided to roast it over the fire. The next morning, a woman woke up groggily, only to discover that everyone else on the beach had vanished, leaving behind only piles of clothes. As she processed this eerie scene, a small bird landed on the sand to look for food. Suddenly, something grabbed it, and the woman watched in horror as the bird disappeared into the sand. Realizing something was wrong, she hurried to warn her friends not to touch the sand, but it was already too late, leading to the horrifying scene at the beginning. Now the group had no choice but to stay in the car, too scared to go anywhere. Determined to figure out what was happening, the woman reached out and touched the sand. To her shock, countless hair-like tendrils emerged from the surface. It was hard to believe these tiny strands could consume an entire person. Meanwhile, Dazhuang woke up, still unsure how much he drank the night before, to end up sleeping in a metal drum. He struggled desperately to get out, but the others quickly warned him about the monsters in the sand and how many friends had already fallen victim. Hearing this, Dazhuang calmed down. The group stayed put, hoping the creatures would eventually disappear. As time passed under the scorching sun, they grew thirsty and were on the verge of heat stroke. The food in the car was running out. Just then, the monsters began attacking the car.
Do not forget to like and subscribe.